Although I'm betting I'm a much nicer boss than you ever would have been. Except for maybe this part.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2026 horror thriller Send Help. The film is directed by Sam Raimi and it stars Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. Now the film focuses on McAdams' character Linda. She is, at the beginning of the film, she's plain Jane, if you like. She's a plain Jane character. She is the one in the office that people make fun of, but she's bloody good at her job. And she's so good, in fact, that her boss had promised her a promotion. However, her boss has died, and her son, played by Dylan O'Brien, is taking over for the business. But Dylan O'Brien's character, Bradley, is not a particularly nice boss. He gives Rachel McAdams promotion to one of his frat boy friends, and doesn't respect her in any way, shape or form. He invites her on a business trip abroad, which involves a plane ride, and the plane ends up crashing. The only two survivors are Rachel McAdams' character and Dylan O'Brien's character. However, Rachel McAdams' character, Linda, is a huge mega fan of the TV show Survivor. And over the years, she's picked up many, many tips on how to survive in the wilderness, or when you've got to kind of, survive to live. So she takes to this island like a duck to water, whereas Dylan O'Brien's character is desperate to be rescued. This leads to an increasingly tense situation that ends with devastating consequences. Right, what are my thoughts on Send Help? Well, this is Sam Raimi's, I think I'm right in saying, his first horror film for quite a while. Sam Raimi is obviously a legend of horror. So this has been highly anticipated by many, you know what I mean? I've been quite looking forward to it, I'm not going to lie, but I've not been kind of, itching to see it or anything like that. But after seeing the film, I have to say I was impressed with this. I really enjoyed it. It kind of has some really, really intense moments and some brutal moments, but it also feels like it's Sam Raimi with the shackles on, if you like. It doesn't feel raw and intense as some of his earlier work. Now that probably is perfectly understandable. He's not the same man he was in the 80s when he made the Evil Dead films and stuff. And he's matured a lot as a director over the years. I think his body of work shows that. So this is almost like a Harvey Two-Face version of Sam Raimi and his skills in movie filmmaking. You've got the horror side, where at times he really does delve into the delicious horror side of the film and the psychology and all this kind of stuff. And then on the other side, he taps into his more commercial side from, his Marvel days and all that kind of stuff. So it's like it's a bit of a combination of both Sam Raimi's that we've had over the years. And at times that tone is at odds with each other now and again. Because you really want the film to ignite at some point. Into full-on psychological horror. And I don't know, it never really felt like it did. It just kind of felt a little bit like it was holding back a little bit, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. But it's anchored by some great performances, this film, especially Rachel McAdams. Now, I've been a big supporter of Rachel McAdams for many, many years. I think everything I've ever seen her do, she knocks it out of the park. whether she's playing a mean girl, whether she's playing a heroic character, whether she's in a rom-com, whether she's in things like Sherlock Holmes, whatever she's in, she absolutely nails it, in my opinion. So I think she's an incredibly versatile actress who I think is generally underrated. I personally feel that. You never really see many people singing her praises massively. And her performance here is, I think, transformative in a sense of, at the beginning of the film, like I say, she plays this plain Jane character with serious confidence issues and, you know, self-esteem issues. But when she gets on this island, completely blossoms into this, you know, strong, independent woman with a wicked side. And to see that, you know, shift in her character as the film goes on, you know, at the beginning of the film, you know, there's no makeup on her, you know, she looks tired and, you know, drawn, her face looks skeletal almost, you know, and that's obviously been done on purpose. And then as the film goes on, you know, as she's on the island, as she grows into this character, you know, you could see the character blossoming in that, and she, you know, she looks beautiful. And her performance reflects all of this. I think it's really, really good. It's at times vulnerable, but at other times absolutely over the top and sinister. And I think she absolutely nails it. I don't think I've ever seen a performance like this before from her. I can't think of one anyway. And Dylan O'Brien basically just plays the arse boss who, you know, He's like an infant on this island. He's no idea how to look after himself. He's completely reliant on her to stay alive, even though he still keeps trying to one-up her or keep her under his foot, or, you know, keep her down, sort of thing. So you don't... It's quite an interesting dynamic because you don't like his character at all. And you're not really, it's almost like Breaking Bad. You're not supposed to like Walter White, but you can't help it. It's like Dexter. You're not really supposed to like Dexter. He's a serial killer, but you can't help it. It's a bit like Rachel McAdams' character here, Linda. You're probably not really supposed to like this character, but you can't help it. She's so endearing, sort of thing. And there is like a power shift massively on this island. And some of the things that she does are very, very questionable, obviously. But some of the things he does before they get to the island and when they're on their island are very, very questionable. So it plays around in the grey area quite a lot here, but you still can't help but cheerlead for Rachel McAdams' character, Linda, you know, because it's played so well and it's played so delicately by Rachel McAdams and finely balanced that you can't help but enjoy her character and enjoy the performance. But it's an interesting dynamic that's going on this island, and there's quite a few surprises on there. Quite a few things happen that keep you on the edge of your seat and keep you on your toes. It's a fun movie. You know, at times it feels like Sam Raimi tapping into the old Sam Raimi, and at times it feels like he's kind of holding back a little bit to be a little bit more commercial. But it's a fun movie and definitely one that I would recommend checking out. So that's my thought on Send Help. Let me know your thoughts if you've seen the film, and I will of course be back with plenty more content on the channel very, very soon.